everyone, and my name is Eula, and today we're gonna read Ivy and Ben's story, One Big Happy Family Story, starting at Not Too Big, Not Too Little, chapter 10, and reading at the next chapter. Now, alright, for read this one book with a lot of stories. And before you look at my YouTube, please thumbs in my YouTube. Are ready for read this one book with a lot of stories? Now here we go. And first we can read Ivy and Ben, One Big Happy Family Story, starting at Not Too Big, Not Too Little chapter. Ivy and Ben walked slowly back to Pancake Court. Finally, Ivy spoke. "You're right about baby sisters. They were terrible. Big sisters were worse," said Ben. "If big ones are bad and little ones are bad, that doesn't leave much. They're twins," Ben said. "I always wish I was a twin. Think how cool it would be, like having a friend in your house. It would be like you and me, only sisters." Ivy nodded. "But you can't get a twin. You have to be born that way." "Would it be great?" said Ben dreamily. You could gang up your older sister." Ivy frowned. "I don't have an older sister. If you did and you had a twin, you could gang up on her. You'd be able to play with her stuff. And for a once in your life, you might win an argument." Ben had thought some more. "Plus, it would be fun. If you and I were twins, we'd get to play all the time, and every night would be like a sleepover. Except we wouldn't be us," said Ivy, "because we wouldn't have our parents." Ben shrugged. It wouldn't matter. We have each other." Ivy thought about that. "Yeah, but it's too late. We're not twins. Life isn't fair," said Ben gloomily. But that night, Ben had an amazing idea. It was an idea that could fix Ivy's woman and life. Where is it? And life's unfairness at the same time. It was an idea that would make everything better. Plus, it was an idea that didn't need gods or electricity or magic to work. All it needed was the nature. Here's how Ben's idea went. Kids grow. Everyone knows that. All the time they were growing and growing. They get taller, they get bigger, and then their heads grow, which it was weird but true. What's covering all these grow parts? Skin, that's what. And what does that mean about skin? It's growing too all the time. So let's say you wanted to be a twin. Let's say you wanted to be a twin with your friend. All you would have to do is tie yourself on her with string and wait. After a while, your skin will grow together. And if you would become twins, easy peasy. Ben had wanted to go over to Ivy's house right a minute to tell her the amazing idea. Ben's mom said absolutely not. And it's 10 p.m. And why aren't you asleep? Okay, groaned Ben as she tumped back to her room. But don't be surprised when you have to buy some more food and maybe a bigger bed too. Her mom looked confused. "What? You see, it's a nature," explained Ben the next day as she looped the string around her arm and Ivy's. "The nature always works. We'll be twins, huh?" Now she's going to frick. "And we won't just be regular twins," Ivy said. will be joined kind, which is the coolest, tied and not tight. Originally, Ben had wanted to tape her hands together so that would be joined her head, but Ivy had pointed that they'd have to bend sideways for the rest of their lives. Plus, they have a tape in their hair. Joined arms would be way easier. Ben had to admit it was true, and Ben had tied the last knot. Okay, she said, that should do it. She leaned back against the wall on her punny plastic playhouse, and Ivy had leaned with her. She had to. We'll be the three-armed twins. After a moment, she said, I can kind of feel our skin is growing together. Me too, said Ivy. How long do you think it will take? A month, maybe, said Ivy. A month, Ben, that's a long time. But in the end, we'll be joined forever, Ivy said. Forever. And then we're going to be the real world. Ben, said Ben. Huh? You keep saying huh, said Ivy. Let's go to show people. Ben was too excited to sit still. People? Ivy said. I'm reading this really great book. You can read later, said Ben. Maybe. It was pretty hard for them to squeeze through the tiny door of Ben's playhouse, but finally Ben figured out if she crawled backward, Ivy crawled forward, and they could make it out. Still her heads clung together. Nancy was sitting in her yoga mat in the other side of the lawn. One of her legs was crossed over another in her hand and turned opposite way. Don't talk, she said. I'm doing yoga. Now you have taken over your backyard too, said Ben. That's not fair. Ooh, she could hardly wait until she and Ivy grew together. Nancy wouldn't know what hit her. Ben couldn't keep saying in a mysterious voice. Pretty soon, things are going to be different around here. Stop talking, said Nancy. I'm not talking to you, said Ben. Even though your life is about to change forever, you probably won't like it. Nancy crossed her legs in another direction. Does the word twins strike fear in your heart? Asked Ben. No, Nancy said. She opened her eyes and looked at Ben and Ivy. Oh, good, you stick together. Does this mean you're going to move with Ivy? No, said Ben. Ivy's going to move in with me. So, huh? Ivy frowned. I thought we were going to switch off, she said. Ben looked at her in surprise. The plan was going to move in my house. And Ivy shook her head. You didn't say that before. You said it didn't matter. Nancy made praying hands left her face to sky. You're only going to be half as annoying with an arm each. Ben looked at Nancy. Then she looked at her tie-up arm. Let's get out of here, she said to Ivy. Now is the next chapter called The Naughty Problem. I think Ivy and Ben were going to grow together, so they're going to be twins. How exciting. Now let's see this story for tomorrow maybe, because you will be really want to know Ivy and Ben have turned into the twins. So let's read this chapter for tomorrow again. Now please thumbs in my YouTube if you didn't thumbs in my YouTube before looking at my YouTube. And have a nice day. Bye bye everyone.